Hey guys, it's Brian Jodas from Pick Up the Six podcast. Guys, men, listen up. My friends and partners over at ngbn.tv are committed to you in providing content specifically for men and men's mental, physical, and emotional health. We're hosting a groundbreaking virtual conference on January 7th, and I'm personally inviting you to attend. I'll be there hosting the event all day. The conference is called Men Striving to Thriving. This will be a transformative program that will help you make 2023 the best year of your life so far. And it's not just a kick-ass 5-hour conference, it's more. The conference on January 7th will kick off your 8-week journey. So not only will you hear from experts on the 7th, you'll then receive 8 weeks of tailored weekly reinforcement and motivational emails. You'll also get access to 4 coaching sessions, and you'll be invited to an exclusive online community that will have all of the conference and program materials. So, are you willing to start this journey? The entire 8-week program, including the 5-hour virtual conference on January 7th, is only $179. But if you use our exclusive code PICK610, PICKSIX, and the number 10, PICK6 and the number 10, you can register today for only $159. We're saving you money just like that on an amazing program. Go to ngbn.tv/news and you'll see the conference link at the very top. We also have the link to register here in our show notes. Kick off 2023 with 8 weeks that could change your life and join the Men Striving to Thriving movement with ngbn.tv. This episode of Pick Up the Six podcast is brought to you by our friends at Mud Gear. We have an awesome new partnership to tell you about, and we love Mud Gear because they're made tougher. Just like you guys, it's outdoor gear for the outdoor athlete. You can get it dirty, you can sweat in it, it's all good. Great shirts, great shorts, awesome socks. They've got a bunch of different kinds of socks. They've got full knee-high socks for compression. They've got running socks. They've got mountain biking socks. They've got rucking socks. It's all good. Go pick it up today. It's made tougher. It's Mud Gear, and it's 15% off at mudgear.com using the code PUT6. Go get after it, pick up some of their stuff, and help support a great company that we love to partner with. In January of 2018, a South Carolina community mourned after a local police officer was killed in the line of duty. Amanda Riggan wanted to do something, so she turned to serving through food. And with that, Hungry Heroes BBQ was born. Since that point, she's been serving a barbecue across her community and beyond. Her journeys have taken her across the country. We're talking Q, service, and faith on this episode of Pick Up the Six podcast. Brian Jodas back once again for another episode of Pick Up the Six podcast. Super excited about this one. Again, thanks to our friends at Mud Gear for sponsoring the show. Guys, go check them out, mudgear.com. Use that code, save a little bit of money, pick up some really good gear, outdoor gear, right? You get sweaty, you get dirty in it. I wear their stuff all the time, wear it on ruck events, endurance events, running, all that's great. So be sure to check them out. And we're thankful for their support, helping us put a little wind in the sails here. We're talking about a lot of great stuff today. Amanda Riggan joins the show. She is the founder of Hungry Heroes BBQ. Had a Traeger on last night, had a spatchcock chicken on it, right? Seasoned up, put them on there for about 2 hours, 200, and then crank the heat at the end, crisp it up. So I don't know. What do you think of that technique that I deployed on a Sunday night for the family to have a little Sunday supper?
No, that sounds awesome. Yeah, as long as you get the skin crispy, good to go.
Yeah, that's the key. Well, it's good to talk to you. Thanks for being here.
Thank you for having me. I'm glad to know you have a Traeger. I didn't know that.
Yeah, I do. Team Traeger all the way. My family, for my 40th birthday, so a little over a year ago, gifted me. I've got the tailgater model, so I can take it with me places, right? Fold the legs up, put it in the back of the truck. We've routinely taken it to events, overnight trips. My daughters and I do a big overnight at like a bunk house, but we can run power out right from the house to it. And it's perfect, right? And that tailgater, I could use one a little bit bigger, but I can still put 3 racks of ribs on there. I can put enough food for the family on there. So I haven't needed a lot of extra space. It's been great.
I don't have that one. I think I have all of them but that one.
I was going to say, you probably have a bunch of them, right?
I do.
How many can you tell us how many you have so I can be super jealous?
1, 2, 3.
Oh, no, start counting.
I have 4 in my backyard. That's where my grilling hut.
Yeah.
I have 2 of the trailer ones that you pull behind your truck on a trailer at my dad's. So that's the ones we use for events. and two camping ones. So
Nice. Yeah, my buddy just got the one that he can either take it camping or he can even like legit like take it on his boat. Like
yep, it's a
it's that kind of
suitcase.
portable, right? Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, you know, I've always loved to consume fire cooked things, right? Love grilling, love being in the backyard. As not a big, you know, guy that has a lot of experience smoking a lot of meat, this is gonna sound like a commercial for Traeger, and I know you're a part of the Traeger
No,
family. You might even have a discount code for our listeners if you want to throw it out there. But those pellet smokers, man, like it's just so good. It's super easy. It's kind of hard to screw it up, but you can
Yep.
still put your own finesse to it. You can put your own flavoring on it. You can do different stuff to it. I've absolutely loved it.
And I think that's why a lot of people started following me too, because like you don't have to be a professional chef like at all. Like I'm just a
Right.
blue collar delivery driver. But yeah, it's not just a smoker. The first thing that I did, which I love, are pizzas. I don't know if you
Yeah,
ever do a pizza
for
on
sure.
it,
I sure have. I got the
but yeah,
stone, put it
that's
on there, rock and roll. Yeah.
yeah, it's intimidating. But then when you see people like you and we can do it. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? So
Yeah.
love it.
Yeah, it's great. A bit big fan. I like to do the smoked wing. I'm not the only one who does this. Smoke the wings and then throw them in the air fryer,
Yep.
right? And finish them off that way. Plus, then the air fryer smells. It's just great.
Well, the new Traeger actually has an induction burner on the
Come
side,
on with it.
so
That's
take
awesome.
them from here right to here.
Yeah.
I don't have that one yet though. So I don't have a tailgater or the brand new one.
Okay. Okay. Well, the tailgater's done me good. It's good. It's good size, right? Works
That's
well.
good.
Take it wherever you need. As long as you got power, you're
Yep.
good to go. The
Yep.
generator, you can rock and roll. Where's the craziest place you've smoked something? You've grilled something? Because you're traveling all over. We're gonna get into your story, learn more
Yeah.
about you, but tell me just a cool story about prepping some kind of meat out somewhere.
The craziest place. Well, most of my events are planned, so it's
Yeah.
not too crazy, you know. I mean, we grill on the pontoon boat. We grilled. It's not crazy. It was actually devastating, but at the condo collapse in Florida
Mm,
last summer.
yeah.
So a lot of mine are planned. I don't really get out there in the woods and rough it up. You know what I mean?
I got you. I got you. But you do like to hunt, right?
I do. Yep. But I'm always cooking at the ranch and not outside. Well,
Yeah.
I'm outside the ranch, but you know what I'm
Sure, sure,
saying?
sure. Do you
Not
know,
out in the
have you met
wild.
Stan Hayes in your journeys at all from Operation Barbecue Relief?
I have not. I'm familiar with their mission. I think it's
Yeah.
awesome.
Yeah.
I
Very
would love to
similar
meet
kind of
them.
stuff that you guys are doing at Hungry Heroes. We had Stan on, I think it was like episode 79 or 80, if you guys want to go back and look. And similar model where they've built out a whole nonprofit charity around feeding our warriors and warriors
Yep.
across different battlefields, right? Whether it's veterans in the military, but also those warriors and first responders. And so that's what
Right.
Amanda Riggan's been doing a lot with Hungry Heroes Barbecue. And you talked about, you know, blue collar, right? Working
Yep.
regular job, but then want to start up this thing. So just tell us the journey and how the Hungry Heroes thing got started. I know it was birthed out of tragedy and loss. So just
Right.
tell us a little bit about that story.
So Christmas of 2017, I got a Traeger grill for Christmas. I never even heard of them, right? And so I started cooking on it and I become obsessed with it, really. You know,
Yeah.
I'm stopping every day after work, grabbing some kind of meat, whatever it is, just to cook something. Um, and I taught myself within like a month span, I got pretty good at it. And I think that was the Lord's plan.
Mm-hmm.
Hungry Heroes started, well, let me back up. There was an ambush on 4 officers here in York County, South Carolina, um, January 27th. So exactly 1 month from Christmas, I had my
Mm,
grill. 3 officers were shot. Detective Mike Doty died in the line of duty. And so I'm a FedEx delivery driver. I'm in Charlotte delivering every day, 6 days a week. And the day of his funeral, I couldn't get near the church. I delivered to the church that his funeral was at, and it was massive.
yeah.
I saw cop cars from Canada, New York,
Yeah.
Texas. I mean,
I mean,
all the
I'm
way
only a
here.
few hours away up in Apex, North Carolina. I remember this, right? I
Yeah,
remember hearing about this, reading about it, seeing it. I've got a bunch of F3 buddies that are in Rock Hill in York County, right? Like just know, so I saw it, like knew what was going on.
right.
Terrible tragedy. Yeah.
I mean, I just sat there at the stoplight and started crying. I
Mm,
didn't know Detective Mike Doty personally. My brother is an officer. He's in Fort Mill, which I'm sure you're familiar with.
mm-hmm.
But I remember that day of the funeral, going down Interstate 77 back home, and it was just flags on the sides of the road, people crying. And I mean, if you think about the timeline, this was kind of before police brutality. I mean, this was about the year before our nation went to crap, to be
Mm,
honest. So,
Yeah, it was intense. Those were
yeah,
some intense summers after that. Yeah.
I started praying, like, how can I help? Everybody was putting blue lights on their porch and
Uh-huh.
doing everything they can to show solidarity, but I wanted to physically give back. And a few weeks later, it just kind of came to me after praying, like, feed them. So I started in York County with Rock Hill Police Department, and I called up the Lieutenant Breeden. I'm like, hey man, I want to come feed your guys, and they never complained, and I just kept doing it.
Were you
So
doing it on your own at the beginning, right? At some point, do people
yes,
come around and are like, because like, that's expensive, right? That's an expensive way to serve. But when you feel
right.
called, right? When you leave the 99, right? You'll go out after the one, you'll do whatever it takes. When does it kind of start becoming a thing, right? Because
Right.
that's
So
sort of naturally how these things kind of progress, right?
yeah, so I only was trying to reach our home guys just to help heal our community a little
Yeah.
bit, just as an appreciation. So I started hitting every weekend. I would work FedEx Monday through Friday. Saturday, I would cook Boston butts all night Friday night, shred them up Saturday. My daughter and I would take them to the agencies around here. So it was a few months into it. I started posting on social media, and it grew from there. I only ever intended to help serve in York County. So for almost the first year, I was by myself,
Hmm.
and I was just getting burned out. So around fall of the first year, which was 2018, I started praying like, Lord, I can't continue to do this. And that was when Traeger Girls reached out on social media and flew me to Salt Lake City, Utah, and gave us a donation check and was like, we are so on board with what you're doing.
So what had they just seen your posts and somebody at their office flagged it and was like, hey, she's
Yeah.
doing some really incredible stuff. Let's help out.
Yeah, pretty much on Instagram, I was posting not just Hungry Heroes, but I was also posting like backyard cooks that I was
Sure.
doing.
Sure.
And a Traeger rep here who works this territory saw me on Instagram and then connected me with the Mother Church in Salt Lake. So ever since then, man, they have literally been on board since 2018.
I love hearing about companies that you like, right? That
Yep,
you're already a loyal customer of, that then just make raving fans out of all of us,
right.
right?
Me
Just for
too.
stepping in. And it's just got to be good intention, right? Good heart. I mean, you got to meet those folks. Was it pretty
It was
evident
awesome.
early in that process? You're like, oh yeah, these guys are for the cause.
Yeah, it was awesome, but like I was I was taken out of a driver's seat of a delivery truck and thrown into this world that I have know
Mm,
nothing about, right? Like I didn't go to college. I don't know anything about the business world. So it was very intimidating. And then flying out to Salt Lake the first time by myself, like I'm a daddy's girl and he still thinks I'm 10. You know what I mean? And it's
yeah.
like this mission has stretched me more than I can even explain. And it's all been a blessing. And looking back, we're almost 5 years in at the pieces. Um, but the FedEx story is what blew us up
Yeah.
nationwide.
So tell me about that moment in 2019 where all of a sudden it's like, bam, like people know
Yes.
who you are.
So in October of 2018, like I was saying, that's when Traeger flew me out. And I just felt it in my spirit, next year's your year. Don't stop. You
Keep
started
going.
for a
Yeah.
reason. And I was on my delivery route again, January 3rd, and I encountered a customer who I had been delivering to her house for about a year, but she was walking out to her driveway, and I asked her how was her Christmas, and she pointed at the front door and said her husband was dying. And so I didn't expect that response. I didn't really know what to do. I just kind of made small talk and I left. And about 30 minutes later, I just started crying again. And I turned around. I went back to her house, and I just like, ma'am, I can't continue to work. And so I was like, can I please pray for you? And she just stepped out on the front porch and just hugged me like she knew me forever. And I prayed with her. And at that point, I got back in my truck and went down the road and pulled over. And I'm still in tears. I mean, this encounter that just happened, I wanted to let my family and friends know, because I am proud of my walk with Christ.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I didn't grow up in church, and the radical difference in my life from before and after is crazy. So I pulled over and I just was crying, and I posted a short video just to share what happened. No names mentioned, nothing, just to share the encounter. And I woke up the next morning and it was World News, Fox News, CNN News. So that is what boosted us nationwide, that one act of obedience.
Mm. What has the reception been like? I mean, what's the growth been like for the nonprofit? I mean, tell me about that journey since then.
So yeah, well, about 3 or 4 months into it in 2018, we actually became a 501(c)(3).
Mm-hmm.
So we actually became an entity, and we have board members and stuff like that. But after the video went viral, Steve Harvey's show flew me out to Cali, which obviously gave us more followers. And so I was on most all radio news outlets and stuff like that. We have grown a lot. The 2019 was huge for us, and then obviously COVID hit. Um, I was kind of nervous that COVID was going to hinder everything, but it actually didn't, because everyone who was stuck at home still wanted to make sure that our heroes were still
Yeah.
being able to eat. And so I wasn't able to set up publicly and serve, so I had to kind of think outside of the box, and go from there. But we started doing drive-through events at police departments and fire departments, so we wouldn't really like face to face. They would just drive up and we'd give them a plate. We never slowed down, is what I'm saying.
Yeah. Yeah. You just keep going.
Yeah.
And I mean, you think about the folks who desperately still need that love and care and attention
Yep.
during, the early months of that pandemic. Like, none of us knew what the heck was going on. Like, everybody was like,
I know.
what is this? What are we doing? We're like, are we supposed to wipe our groceries down before we buy? Like, nobody knew anything. But like,
I know.
who gets, a lot of people were hurt in those early days with having to shut stuff down, but those essential workers, right? Like police officers, fire, EMS, like they were still working. They still
Yep.
had a lot to do, and you had
Yeah,
to
I
take
had to
care of
think
them.
outside the box for sure. I couldn't really cook everything and serve it, so I started calling restaurants here locally, like, "Hey, do you want to help?" And so, which helped them too. They're local, and
Yeah,
so like they would cook it. I'd pick it up and take it to the emergency room or wherever it was needed. But we never slowed down.
it's incredible. I want to talk a little bit more. Tell them while we got thinking about it. Tell us the website, right? I want folks to help support, right? Give me that information now too, if you don't mind.
Hungry Heroes BBQ.com. So
Love it.
that's a lot of people ask like how we stay funded, and honestly, it's crazy to think, but blue collar folks like you and I, we don't
Yep.
have all these grants and corporate sponsors. Traeger Grills is the only corporate sponsor. Reload Rubs out of Knoxville, Tennessee, they supply us with all of our rubs and stuff, but it's literally the mom and pop people who give $10, $15 a week, a month. You know what I mean? And
Yeah,
that's
for sure.
I was thinking about it the other day because we were trying to do like our end of the year giving fundraisers. And if you go back and look, it is just people like you and I, and it's awesome.
Tell me about the rub guys. What are they doing that makes it so good?
Oh man, I love Reload Rubs. They've been with us for like 3 years. Their brand is catered to military and tactical themes. Super cool. I only wear merch that I like anyway, so
Yeah.
I love their theme. It's no fillers, no BS. You know what I mean? No sugars. Um, keto friendly, but you can't tell. So yeah, shout out to them. And so they don't just send us seasonings and stuff. They also donate a portion of all their proceeds every quarter back to Hungry Heroes.
Oh, I love it.
Yep.
I love good partnerships like that. It's pretty incredible.
I've
Uh,
had to learn to say no. You know,
yeah.
there's bigger companies I've reached out. I'd rather support small like-minded folks.
Yeah. You want to be aligned, right? You want to feel like you
Yep.
have a partner in this thing
Right.
that's with it, and you want to know them, right?
Yep.
You want to know them, know that product. And I mean, look, your reputation's on the line.
Yep.
Every time you talk about it or share it. And if they're in for the cause with you and they're putting money back into it, those are great. Those are great partners. It's a
They're
challenging moment,
awesome.
right? Little girl brought into your life probably earlier than you planned.
Oh yeah.
Man,
Everybody's like, "How old's your daughter?" when they meet me. "How old's your baby?" And I'm like, "You're not even gonna believe me." She's 17. I had her when I was 19, and she is so proud. When I was still working full time at FedEx, the first year of Hungry Heroes, there was an event that I couldn't take off for. Obviously, probably all your listeners, you guys probably order way too much, and we never can take off of work.
right, right.
But we had an event in Columbia, South Carolina, at the military base, and I couldn't take off. And so my mom and dad went down there and took my daughter to serve. She was like maybe 11, I guess,
Mm-hmm.
12. And she stood up in front of 150 soldiers who were about to be deployed and told my entire story like a champ. And my mom FaceTimed me. I pulled my FedEx truck over and I'm just bawling. And so like, cause she's had to grow up with me, you
Sure.
know, she
Sure.
saw me before Christ. So
Mm-hmm.
she's seen me crazy, and then she sees me now, and now she thinks she's like Facebook famous or something.
She's become
uh,
like your partner in crime with this stuff. How much are you guys doing it together?
Not so much in the last 2 years, just because
Well,
high
she's
school.
16, 17 years old. She's got a lot going on. She's doing her own thing now.
Yeah, she's an actress, so she does musical
Wow.
theater, and so during the summer she helps a lot more.
It's a proud mom. I can tell just by
Yeah.
talking a little bit. So what's next? What's next for this incredible organization, right? What else are you guys doing? I know you're doing really cool stuff. I mean, traveling,
Yep.
going on big hunts and stuff. So just tell us what's coming up next.
Man, 2023, we already have dates booked. And so a lot of like when we first started, I would reach out to agencies like, hey, can we come serve your crew? But
Yeah.
now it's people reaching out to us. A lot of our events are annual, so we're doing the same ones every year. I work with Operation Wake Surf out of Lake Norman. And so I feed them, and then they fly in combat vets and they teach them how to wake surf and stuff like that. That's super awesome. The coolest way that I've learned to actually grow is to partner with like-minded missions. And police officers and fire departments and stuff are easy to get contacts for, right? But a lot of times the veteran community, it's harder. And so
Yeah.
we partner with the Independence Fund every quarter of the year, and we serve at the VA in Charlotte as a drive-through. And so a lot of these veterans that are coming for their appointments and stuff, we have a drive-through line, and you can tell like they need it, like they need the help, and that is so humbling. Um, I've met a lot of celebrities, and I've had cool encounters, but they do not fill my heart like going to the VA or
Mm-hmm.
going to Henderson
Mm-hmm.
last month. And I'm kind of over it now. Like at the beginning, I was like, man, the Lord's opening these cool doors for me. Like I get to meet so and so and so and so, but it's not what it's about. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
So I got over that hump.
It's about serving.
Yep.
Right. And it'll open up the opportunities to do all those cool things and meet all
Yep.
those great people. But it'll also give you opportunity to have a real impact. And what you're finding, I think, as you go is, yeah, meeting all those famous people is cool, but sitting with the guy at the VA and hearing his story,
Hmm.
right? That's the real impact. I got to get you connected with my friends at Purple Heart Homes. They do a bunch of great events. They're up in the Charlotte area. Huge veteran group. They build houses for veterans.
I've heard of
Yeah,
them.
great guys. Brad Borders is my guy over there. Great dude. He's been on the show a few times. They do a bunch of really neat stuff. And let's see if we can't get you partnering with them, right? Like
That would be
go serve food,
awesome.
right? And that's what I love about this whole community. And we've even had folks welcome us in, right? My dad proudly served in the military for 36 years. My brother's still in now. But I've just seen people bring arms around us when we come to things. And I see organizations who are doing things rowing in the same direction, but that do different things and can help each other. So it's like, well,
Right.
cool. We don't prep food or cook. Let's bring you in to help us out. But here's what we do, right?
Yep.
Like you're doing with the guys up in Lake Norman. So I just think that's really cool. I love to see it. I love what you're doing. Totally fit with our pick up the six mentality here, right? Service before self, strength of purpose, and community impact. And like people always say, like, well, what's your scripture for pick up the six? And I'm like, oh, we leave the 99, right? We're like the parable of the good shepherd, right? If there's one that goes astray, we're going to leave the 99 and go help the other
Right.
ones,
I
which is cool.
agree. It's super humbling, like especially the veteran community is like the most thankful of
Oh yeah.
all of them.
Oh yeah.
And a lot of times our local heroes in our communities are veterans too. They served both overseas and here. But I remember at our last VA event where the veterans were coming through in their cars, you know, I hand this elderly guy a plate, and I'm like, "Thank you for your service." And then you know what he says? Thank you for your service. And
Mm-hmm.
I'm like about to cry because
Right.
I can't even compare it, you
Yeah.
know?
Yeah. It's Hungry Heroes BBQ.com. Go help them out, give them a donation. Pick up the six, just threw a little bit of money in the account. So that's on the way. because we feel
Man,
so
thank
called to do
you.
what we do. Absolutely. All right.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Our pleasure. If you have got to get something on the grill, on the Traeger in a pinch, right? What's a go-to? Easy, not a lot of prep, right? What's a go-to for you in a pinch?
Boston butts.
Go, boom, done without even
But
thinking
that's
about it.
so easy.
Easy,
Yeah. You
easy.
don't have to put mustard on it. You just season it. Boom.
Boom, done. I had a little mustard binder on the chicken, on the spatchcock chicken yesterday, just to hold everything on there. All right. If you've got time to prep, right, and really create something that's got some serious prep to it. I didn't give you these questions in advance. I hope that,
You
what are you doing?
didn't.
Yeah.
Brisket, but I
Yep.
have not perfected it.
Me
It costs
neither.
too much.
I'm kind of, this is going to sound terrible. I'm kind of scared on brisket
Well, because
because
it costs too much.
it cost a bunch. And if I screw it up, like I don't want no gray meat coming out of there. And it feels like it's a high pressure situation with the
It is.
brisket.
You literally have to babysit it, and it can get dry very fast.
Right.
So I'd rather have just throw a butt on there. You can't mess it up. Longer you cook it, it's okay. You can put some sauce back in. It's easy. And then I'll take the leftovers from if we have some from the event. Usually we don't. And then we'll make pulled pork nachos,
Mm-hmm.
which are bomb. It's
Yep.
super easy.
Yep.
Yep.
Where
That's
do
a
you
go-to.
come down? We live in the Carolinas. I'm over here in Eastern North Carolina. I grew up in Eastern North Carolina. Where do you come down on sauces, right? Vinegar, mustard, tomato. Where are you at?
We ours is a family recipe. So we have a red sauce and a yellow sauce. But my go-to anything vinegar base, I will take it like a shot.
Yeah. Here's my thing. I'm an all of the above. I don't get caught up. I love all of it. I've been to Kansas City. I've been to
Yep.
Memphis, right? Been all over the Carolinas. Been all over Texas. Dude, I go get a smoked turkey sandwich at Bucky's and I'm good to go. That's a great.
I love it. But with the first time I went to Salt Lake City and Traeger, like I wasn't the sauce is so thick and sugary,
Yeah.
and I'm
Yeah.
not used to that at
Yeah.
all.
I'm with you on that. Yeah.
Yeah.
I prefer a dry. I mean, on a rib, I'll take it just. I'll take them dry. I'm good to go.
Yeah, me too.
I'm for all of it.
But I do love like the huge beef dino ribs, which
Yeah.
I get mine from E3 Ranch in
Yep.
Kansas. But they're so hard to find in the Carolinas. Like everything's pork. So I
You're
do
right.
enjoy beef ribs.
Next time, if you're over in the Triangle area, right? If you're visiting family up in Henderson, if you
Yep.
come over this way, there's a great barbecue joint called Prime Barbecue. It's in Nightdale, North Carolina. If anybody's listening, they don't know me from Adam, but I've been over
Prime
there.
bun.
They do Texas style, but then also North Carolina style. So they kind of bring them together. So they've got incredible brisket, and they ask you, they got two ways: regular brisket or like super moist, like extra fatty. Their
Oh
food is
well.
amazing, and they have those big. I've seen those big dino ribs over there, and
Yeah.
great believers. The guy who started it, they've got a thing on their wall. If I remember correctly, you can basically like either pay and purchase like a little military soldier figure, and then they give meals away that way. I mean, they're just great guys.
That's
Prime
awesome.
Barbecue, Nightdale, North Carolina. Shout out to them. Unpaid sponsorship here, just
I'm
because I
gonna
love
go.
them
I'm gonna go look them up and add them. I got to tell my
for sure.
dad because like
For sure.
that's my dad's favorite part of traveling. He'll
Oh,
find,
everywhere I
yeah,
go, I base my travel around where I can
yeah.
stop
He's
and eat.
like Googling like where. So when I took him to the first time he went with me, he just retired last year, so he's like my right
Yeah.
hand man now.
Yeah.
And the first time I took him to Texas, we went to Terry Black's in
Oh,
Austin, and he's like, "I'll just fly back out there just to eat."
yeah. That's money well spent.
Yeah.
That's money well spent for sure. Yeah, they know how to do it right. Texas sausage, excellent, right? And that's what I love about all of it.
Yep.
It's all good. Uh, any Bible verses? I know faith, right, played a big part, right? Kind of came back to Christ later in life. What Bible verses right now are speaking to you?
I am digging in the word honestly right now harder than ever. That's because I'm slowing down for December
Yeah.
and I'm praying on like what the Lord has for me personally too, like not just Hungry Heroes. Um, when I got after I got saved in 2013, I started doing mission work and I went overseas, Ecuador. I took my daughter, and then after I came back home, it's a long testimony, but
Mm-hmm.
one of my best friends passed away, and I was just mad at the Lord, and I was kind of standing still for about a year and a half, and then so when Hungry Heroes started, I was like, you know what, like this is it. Like I'm on fire again for the Lord. And so I pray every day that the Lord will align my footsteps, my words, my thoughts. The thoughts is a big deal,
Mm-hmm.
whenever I'm not even answering your question right this second.
It's
Sorry.
okay. I'm loving
Um,
every second of it. It's all good.
when my FedEx prayer video went viral, I had to get tough skin really quick.
Mm,
And the internet's brutal.
yep.
I had people mocking me, atheists mocking me. And I'm not used to that. I've gotten a little tougher, but Googling my name and seeing all that was very hard. But now if I do interviews, I was actually casted for a Netflix show a couple years ago, and they flew me out. I was on set, and basically I was told to delete my prayer video, and I said
You said
no.
no thanks. See you
And
later.
they flew me home on the red eye,
And that was that.
and I wasn't on the show, and I
Good.
cried, and I was pissed.
Sure.
But then once I got home, I was like, you know what? Like, this is a blessing because TV, I mean, they can mold me the way they want me to look on TV. And it was probably a blessing in disguise. And absolutely, I'm not going to delete the video because
Yeah.
without the Lord, I wouldn't even be here on your set right now,
Yeah. Yeah.
So my skin's a little bit tougher. I look like a hard ass, but I'm not.
She tatted up, full tats.
Full
Well, you look
tats.
pretty damn tough.
Man, I am so sensitive. I wear my heart on my sleeve, but I've
Yeah.
gotten tougher because, like I said, I was thrown into this world
Yeah.
that I don't know anything about.
Yeah.
So all I can do is pray, Lord, please guide me.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm a big fan of Romans 5:3. So that's right. Suffering, endurance, character, hope, that sort of thing. But you know what I've been focused on a lot recently? And I know you'll appreciate this because you talked about sort of just everything going on in the world and
Yep,
like having to get thick skin. I'm going to read it because I don't want to butcher it. 1 Peter chapter 5, verse 8, right?
right,
Be sober, be watchful. Your adversary, the devil, prowls around like a roaring lion seeking someone to devour. Here's my favorite part: resist him, firm in your faith, knowing that the same experience of suffering is required of your brotherhood throughout the world. Right. So no matter what's going, like, you feel like all this stuff is happening. Like
yep,
sometimes you feel like the world's going to crap. Like, he's prowling like a lion looking for something to desire. Resist him because there's other ones out there just like you.
right.
Right. And so if they ask you to delete that post, what are they going to ask you to do next? Like, full stop. No, if I'm not a fit for you, then that's it.
It was hard though. Think about it. You
Of
take
course
me
it
out
would be
of
hard. Yeah. You got all that
yeah,
in front of you.
yeah. Like I had my kid at 19, and I've worked my tail off since I was like 15. And so like this is a cool opportunity, but yeah, it wasn't. And I'm just glad I said no. I'm glad I shut the door. I mean,
Yeah.
I pray every day for the Lord to open doors for me, but also to close doors. Because everyone's intentions aren't the same.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Friends wanting to tag along, or brands now wanting to tag along and use your platform. And yeah, I've really had to get tough skin.
Yeah. No, I believe it. What else do we need to know before we wrap it up? I've loved this. It's been great. The website's Hungry Heroes
Hungry Heroes.
BBQ.com.
Yep.
What else do we need
Like
to know?
us, check us out. We're on all the socials. We have merch, hats, hoodies.
Sweet.
Um, Yeah, pretty much I design them, so I pretty much wear what I like.
That's a good way to do it. Why do you think I'm wearing this Pick Up the
Well,
Six hat right now?
I don't
You're
know if you
like,
can see the logo, but it's
yeah,
two utensils. Well, when my first initial thought, like I know you love barbecue, I love barbecue,
yeah,
so I love like incorporating the pig or the
sure,
cow.
sure. Everybody
Can't
does the pig and the
incorporate.
cat. They all
I
got it.
can't. No, but I'm feeding cops, and so
They'd
I was
probably
trying
get
to
over it. They'd be all right.
I was trying to incorporate like
I
the
get it.
flag and a pig, and I was like, yeah,
Yeah.
that's not gonna work.
I saw my cop buddy the other day. he's I have more than one, but he's my neighbor, right? Getting coffee. I said, man, what can we be doing? Like, for you guys, busy time. Like, can we bring some food over? Jokingly, like, yeah, just don't bring donuts. I'm like, all right, you got it. Like, no
I
problem,
do
man.
bring donuts whenever I'm
Well,
traveling
who
because I'm
doesn't
in a
want a
hurry.
donut? I don't care
I
if it's a
know.
stereotype.
I know, me neither.
All good. And then tell them where they can find you on Instagram, because our folks will
Instagram,
get in there and give you some love and give you some positive affirmation, regardless of what all the dill holes out there are doing on the other side of things.
thank you so much. Yeah, Riggan, I'm on Instagram, TikTok, and Facebook, and then Hungry Heroes is separate. But yeah, connect. And I can't stand TikTok, but I'm trying to learn it.
I'm not doing it. Can't do it. I put a hard full stop for my My 11-year-old doesn't really have a phone yet. We're entering into this phase where she's going to have to have a phone probably next year. And we're sort of slow rolling out, just a little bit internet access, just a couple of approved friends on Messenger to get comfortable with it.
Yep.
I don't know, man. The TikTok thing kind of freaks me out.
I know. I'd be in your same boat though if I had a little girl that age. But for the brand, it's like,
oh, I get it. I know.
Yeah.
I hear you. She's doing amazing things. It's Amanda Riggan. It's Hungry Heroes BBQ, birthed out of just a desire to give back, right? And birthed out of tragedy and loss, but it's another example. And we've heard countless of them here on this show about taking something like that, turn it into something good. And oh, by the way, if you just do good and kind of get out of the way a little bit, right? And give all the glory to God and let him take the credit for everything. The rest of it, most of the time, takes care of itself.
It does. If I would have grown faster, because I wanted to, the first 6 months, I would have failed, like I got to keep it in prayer and baby steps.
Yeah, that's right.
So,
all right, go check them out, guys. Hungry Heroes BBQ.com. Amanda, it's been great talking to you. Love it. And keep us posted. Let us know what else you're up to.
Thank you.
She's Amanda Riggan. I'm Brian Jodis. That's been this episode of Pick Up a Six Podcast.